Greetings, everybody. This is Harmony speaking. I haven't made a video on the coronavirus, COVID-19, because for those of you who know me, I only make videos on things that I actually know about personally, that I am personally involved with the rare exception. I mean, out of 500 videos, I think only 3 of them have been secondhand information, and I don't think I've ever made a third-hand information video. So all my videos are first-hand personal information that I am personally involved with. With that said, that's why I made a video on the coronavirus, is because I don't really know what's going on. I'm not involved in it and never have been. When I was in the military, I was never involved. I never was in the need to know about the biological engineering of viruses or any of that stuff, and I have absolutely zip knowledge on that. But anyway, I'm sure many of you have been watching. If not, you should watch the David Wilcock live streams he's been putting out. They're very long. I typically don't like sitting through a 3 and 5 hour video, but I actually did. I shouldn't. Well, one of his videos. So a couple of the videos is he's kind of recapping like all conspiracy theories, sort of. So for those of you who have been in what we call the conspiracy theory genre long enough, pretty much most of the stuff he talks about you'll know about. But if you haven't, it's excellent information, and I do agree with a lot of things he says. What's really fascinating is he gets into the Federal Reserve. If you want to learn more about the Federal Reserve, over 10 years ago, I was turned on to a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. And that was a truly fascinating book. It's like 600 pages. It's the longest book I've ever read. I mean, I might read a 300-page book, but I've never really gone beyond that. But I could not put this book down, and I read the whole entire book. It was just an incredible read. For those of you who don't know, the Federal Reserve, it talks about how the Federal Reserve was created, which is a private organization. It is not associated with the government at all. They're private citizens. It's a private company. And when they were printing the money, they needed a way to get paid for printing the money. The government didn't have the money to pay for it. So they created the IRS. The IRS was created with the sole purpose of being a private tax collection agency for the Federal Reserve to pay for the money to be printed, and that's why the IRS was created. And for those of you probably know that is completely against our Constitution. It's completely illegal. The IRS violates everything about our Constitution and all the laws in our country. But yet, these people have money, they got power, and they lobby Congress, and they got things passed, and over time they got more and more laws passed to make the IRS appear to be a government agency. They gave them the power to carry guns, to make arrests, and they pretty much have, at this point in time, they have given this private collection agency all the powers of a government agency, which it's just absurd. But anyway, so David Wilcock talks a lot about the coronavirus, and which is very interesting, and then he also talks about how there's going to be all these mass arrests, and how the internet is going to go down for 3 days and all the phones. Well, that is something I do know about. When I was in the military, I got out back in 1995, so all the way back then. I don't know when it was first created, but the military has the power and authority to take over every single cell phone tower in the entire country without notice. The reason for that is if there's an emergency, if there's a war, there's only so many radio channels that the military can use, and there's not enough radio channels to effectively communicate a mass military operation within our country. So they needed more ways to communicate in a state of emergency. So one of the ideas they came up with is they passed a law that they can take over all the cell phone towers in the entire country indefinitely without notice and without reason. Like if somebody just felt like doing it tomorrow, they probably could. They might get in a little trouble for it, but the military has the power to do that. But the one thing I want to let everybody know is they do not take over the text messaging. The text messaging is not a voice band, it's a different band. Therefore, it's useless to the military. They need voice frequencies, so they will only take over all the cell phone towers, and you can still text. Of course, David Wilcock is talking about how they're going to, shut down the whole internet and all the phones. And, well, if they really do that, then I guess you won't be able to text. But I'm just letting you know, from my knowledge, you should still be able to text. But David is probably talking about something completely different. Also, I've been experiencing, and others that I know have been experiencing multiple, what we call personal Mandela effects. Is this thing recording? Oh, it is recording. Okay. I've been experiencing multiple Mandela effects. I finally experienced one the other day that I'll make a video on later. But I was wondering, if you guys can put in the comment section, are you experiencing a lot of personal Mandela effects? I know a lot of people that like, the simple stuff. Like, I know I came home last night and it was cold outside, so I had my jacket in the car, and I woke up this morning and my jacket was, in my car, and I know I didn't do that. And, simple little things, personal things that are just, unique to the person. It appears I did have a QTC session the other day, and, that higher self said that, it's a little bit of a repeat record, but, the bad guys know their time is up, and they're scared, and they're doing everything they can to, try to hold on to this rally as much as they can. But even the bad guys know the jig is up. And also, because things are becoming more positive, it's causing the timelines to shift a lot more rapidly. So this higher self said the timelines are changing at a much higher rate than before. They're just constantly changing. She also said it's really important to choose the timeline you want to be on. If you are focusing on fear, well, you're going to end up on a timeline where there's nothing but fear, and you'll have all the fear you want. If you believe there's going to be end of the world and war and all that stuff, well, you'll end up on a timeline where there's the end of the world and everything gets destroyed and you die along with the rest of the world. So basically, you choose the timeline, is what this higher self said. And I've known this for a long time, and I believe she's 100% accurate. You choose the reality. You choose the timeline that you end up on. So if you want to, choose your reality. Be careful what you think about. Be careful what you wish for. I'm personally, kind of retired from doing missions and just focusing on peace, love, joy, and happiness, and everything's wonderful and beautiful, and everything, well, except for the coronavirus, it pretty much is. So be mindful of what you're thinking about, even in the darkest, deepest parts of your mind, because I've made numerous videos on this. The battle's in your mind. You do control reality, and the reality is in your mind. So therefore, the battle's in your mind. So be careful what you think about, what you wish about, what you want, etc., etc., because you truly do create your reality. And what you believe with all your heart, mind, and soul, the Bible says this. Jesus Christ said, if you have faith as tiny as a mustard seed, you could say that mountain over there move, and the mountain would move. Mustard seed is a really teeny tiny seed, by the way. It's really, really small. So in other words, if you had so much faith, where there was just no doubt, and you had a pure belief, you could tell a mountain to move, and it moved. So this is it's nothing new. It's, a lot of, whatever, gurus, what do you call those people, Zen Buddha monks, yada yada, the masters, blah blah blah. They've been preaching this to us for, thousands of years. So it's nothing new. What's different is this isn't a reality where things are changing much more rapidly. So what you believe can come true a lot faster. So anyway, leave in the comment section if you have been experiencing any personal Mandela effects, how you doing, stuff like that. Just give a check in there in the comment section. And when I have time, I'll make another Mandela effect video on something that happened to me last night, actually. That is a worldwide thing. I don't know if everybody will identify with it, but just to give you a hint, it has to do with bed sheets and, the comforters, the bed sheets, the fitted sheets, and the tag. So let me ask you this. Do you know where the tag is on these items? Because I was taught over 30 years ago that the tags are always, doesn't matter if you buy it from China, America, doesn't matter where you buy your stuff from, the tags are always in a certain spot, so that way when you make up your bed, you will always have it, especially on a king size bed because they're more rectangular. That way you'll have it fitted correctly, and you'll also have the correct side up, because on sheets they have that fancy stuff at the top and one side's up and one side's down. So by knowing where the tag belongs, you know how to make up your bed the first time correctly each and every single time. And I've been doing it for over 30 years, but well, the tag's moved. Anyway, more on that later. Until next time, everybody, I hope you're all doing well out there. God bless, peace, and be well.